My name's Nathan Kline, and I am the IT Administrator, Information Systems Director, I guess, is the official title. So the head of IT at Wedgwood. Yeah.
Perfect. And so how long have you been with Wedgwood?
I started at Wedgwood, I believe it was March 6th, 2020,
Oof.
which is a fantastic place to start a new job, or fantastic time, because that was a week before COVID came into Michigan.
Yes.
And so not only was I changing jobs, changing industries because I came from manufacturing, and learning a bunch of new people, all of a sudden I was the guy in charge of making sure everybody could work remotely.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an interesting time for sure.
Yeah, nothing like hitting the ground running.
Right,
huh?
yes.
Yeah, so I guess we talked about this a little bit. What was it like starting just as we headed into staying at home?
Right. Stressful. And I'm a very social person, so I'm outgoing and I love conversations and I love interacting with people. And one of the things that I love is meeting new people and to tell me, okay, so you're starting a new job. It's time to go home now and work from home and not interact with anybody, only over this screen. That was quite a challenge. And also not knowing any of our systems or how our IT worked here, only having been here a week, I totally had to rely on my team, and they did a fantastic job, of course, getting everybody up and working. But yeah, that was a challenge for sure.
And if the last year and a half has taught us anything, it is that technology and digital capabilities are crucial.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about how that has looked at Wedgwood and helped us continue to provide our services?
Yeah, sure. So before I got here, I know that the IT team did a job, as good of a job as they could to make things work. And I think the previous director had left in January or something that year. So they were 2 or 3 months just themselves trying to figure things out. So there were some things that needed to be done. We didn't have any capability for like telehealth or any of the remote meeting type stuff that we needed. So first thing we brought in was Zoom, and we used that for quite a long time. We're still using Zoom, but we've also integrated Microsoft Teams into that. So there's a lot more capabilities for virtual meetings and just some more collaboration around there. So we also had to figure out, okay, we've got all these desktops. Are we going to make people take their desktop home and set them home, set them up? Because that's a challenge for a lot of people. May not necessarily know what to plug in where and all that kind of stuff. So we did have a few desktops or laptops rather lying around, and we're able to kind of get those out. But we bought a lot of equipment during that time too, just to kind of make it work. So I think we probably spent more in 3 months than we maybe had spent in quite a bit of time on personal devices that could be used for mobility. So
it's totally necessary.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, and as we're kind of slowly transitioning back into more in the office stuff, I feel like having the options to use laptops and kind of move around has been really nice.
Yeah, because people are coming back 2 or 3 days a week, but they're still working from home 2 or 3 days a week. So do you give them 2 devices to make them work, one in the office and one at home, or do you give them a device that they can just carry back and forth? So those laptops have been really beneficial. And we've used them in our homes as well, allowing for a little bit more mobility in the homes. And hopefully they're getting good utilization out of all that stuff too.
Yeah, and just making it possible. I mean, during COVID, mental health was just like such a high concern for everyone.
Yeah.
Counseling is very necessary, and they can still connect with their counselor via teletherapy.
Yep.
So important.
Yep.
So what brought you to Wedgwood? You mentioned you were in manufacturing before, so why the switch to a nonprofit? Yeah,
so I've been familiar with Wedgwood for quite a few years. I actually originally went to school to be a youth pastor because I have a passion for kids, and I think that early you can be so influential in a child's life in the early years of that, between like the ages of 8 and even through high school. I know I struggled a lot during high school, and I think a lot of people that come to work at Wedgwood, had some struggles. That's kind of why they connect with the ministry. So I knew a lot of people, and I was passionate about helping kids. And so when this position opened up, it was honestly a struggle for me because I had a pretty good job. I knew manufacturing. I've been doing that for 20 years, and was doing pretty well for myself in that space. But I really felt God telling me, you need to make this move and you need to go to Wedgwood because there's something there for you. And obviously with the pandemic, I hope I've been able to kind of help guide us through that a little bit from a technology standpoint. So, yeah.
That's great. Yeah, we are glad you made it here just in time. Oof, that would have been rough.
Yeah. Well, you would have made it. The team's great, so they would have certainly gotten you through it. So they're appreciative for the guidance and direction too, I guess.
It's nice to have a complete team.
Yes. Yeah.
And so what does it mean for you? What does it mean to you to work for a Christian organization?
Yeah, Christianity's been part of my life, all my life. I grew up in a Christian home and went to church every Sunday and all that kind of stuff. So, so Christ has always been a part of my life. And so to really bring him into the work life, sometimes people who are working in the professional world, have this, there's my church life and then there's the rest of my life, right? And to be able to integrate those two things together, I think is tremendous. And I think it's really what we're called to do, whether you're in the public sector or the private sector or whatnot. God doesn't want to be segregated in your life. He wants to be part of everything that you do. And so being able to come here has really helped me kind of, not that I didn't have God in my work life, but I think he's much more integrated in the whole entirety of my life now here. It's great that we have devotions, at start of meetings. Sometimes we pray in a lot of our meetings, and just being able to have that open conversation, open communication has brought God into that area of my life where not necessarily that I was pushing him out of, but I don't think he was fully there yet. So it's been neat. It's been neat to travel that and have that as part of my story now. So
that's great. So what is your favorite thing about your job?
So I mentioned earlier that I'm a people person. So my favorite thing about my job is just talking with people, interacting with people, kind of this kind of stuff. I love sitting down and chatting with people, hearing about what's going on in their area of work or in their life or, that kind of stuff. I love also being kind of able to pour into people. So having the IT team, being able to kind of help them learn and grow. And give them opportunities to do that kind of stuff. I love being part of a leadership team and kind of helping guide an organization and being part of that. The biggest piece is the people and helping the kids, of course.
Yeah.
And I don't want to make that as an afterthought, but that is a big part of why I came here, and it's certainly a big part of why I'm here still. So
yeah, you definitely have like a secondhand impact. Without you, staff wouldn't be able to do what they need to do to help the kids, and so it's all really connected.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's important that in my role specifically, outside of just the rest of the IT team, I do interact more with people because it's my job to kind of figure out, okay, what do they need, and then bring that back. So I get to get that interaction there too. With them, and that's pretty neat. It's neat to hear about what's going on in their areas, because oftentimes we don't hear about that in admin type roles, but I get to because I have to. So
right, and there's always so much good stuff happening at Wedgwood too. Yeah. So
they don't. Oftentimes it's they don't know what they don't know about technology. So being able to be that voice for technology for them and figuring out, okay, well, you guys are trying to do this. It would be so much easier if you just brought this one piece of technology or this piece of software or this whatever kind of solution in, and you could maybe cut tons of time out of some of the admin type stuff, and then you can really deal with the kids and the other people that we serve. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What is one thing you think would surprise people about working in IT or information systems?
I think people would be surprised at the amount of interaction with people that we do have, because I know there's a whole old Saturday Night Live skit where people, you could bring an IT person in, and move, get out of my way, and we just sit down and we do the thing at the computer, and then we get up and we go away, and there's no interaction with people. But it's not really how it works anymore. Maybe that was old school IT. But we really have to know a lot about business in general. We have to know about what makes people tick, how to interact with people. Michael, who is our help desk person, does a great job interacting with people. I hear him. His office is right across from mine. I hear him all the time, putting on a pleasant face, even if he's maybe not having a great day, and interacting with people. And he just does a great job with that. So the fact that we have to interact with people a lot We have to really know business. We have to know what's going on around the agency. I think people don't realize how much that is part of our job. So,
Yeah. We've been interacting with the help desk team quite a bit, and they've been delightful.
Yeah.
So
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Sure.
And while you and your team don't necessarily have direct interaction with the kids and families we work with, the work you do is vital to our agency's ability to serve them. So thank you for keeping us online and connected and being patient with us when all we need to do is turn it off and back on again.
Great. Thank you.